Welcome to my teaching channel again. This video is the first video for the data manipulation part 2. In this video, we cover only one topic, that is how to import data from other formats into Stata. Before we start, make sure that we have 4 files ready on the desktop. The first one is GSS 2014 partial.xlsx. This one is the GSS 2014 data saved in a Microsoft Excel format. Second one, GSS 2014 partial.csv. This one is the data saved by the CSV format. GSS 2014 partial.txt as well as GSS partial.dct. These two should be used together. It represents a situation when the original data was saved in a txt file format. Let's double-click on the GSS 2014 partial.xlsx to launch Excel. It's clear that we have only one sheet in this workbook, and totally we have 13 variables. The first row of this Excel file contains variable names. And starting from the second row until the last row, we have data for each case, one row for each case. If a case has a missing value for a certain variable, then we have the blank cell, just like this two, B2 and C2. The CSV file can be opened by your WordPad. It's actually a kind of original data saved in this kind of format. The first row represents the variable names. Totally, we have 13 variable names, and the variable names are separated by a single comma. Starting from the second row, we have the data rows, one row for each case, and the value of each variable will be separated by a single comma, and the missing value will be represented by .i. So .i here refers to missing value. If you save your data in the txt format, you will have something like this. This file starts from the first row as the data row, so there is no variable name included, and each value will be separated by a tab key, and the missing value is represented by .i. In order to let Stata know what's the meaning of each column, we have another file called GSS 2014 partial.dct. This one is actually a dictionary file. It tells Stata meaning and a variable label of each column. For example, the first column means prestg10. This one is the variable name, followed by its variable label, respondent's occupational prestige score 2010. Okay, so in order to import this type of txt file, we need the txt file itself as well as this dictionary file. They work together. So let's see how to import each different kind of data into Stata. Double click on SOC 5070 Stata 1 and 2.do to launch Stata. And then scroll down to row 287. This is the starting point of the second part of data cleaning and manipulation. First of all, let's set the working directory to be the desktop. Your path to your desktop may be different than this, so you have to make a detailed change so that this path refers to your desktop. And then we start a new log file to record everything that we operated. So highlight row 307 and click on the Do button. And then highlight row 316 and click on the Do button to start recording the log file. If you want to import an Excel file into Stata, you should use the command verb import followed by Excel and then the full name of the file that you want to import. In this particular case, in this workbook of Excel, there's only one sheet. And if you have more than one sheet in your workbook, you have to use the sheet option to refer to the sheet that you want to import. And here we have only one sheet, and that sheet has a name called sheet 1. So this is the meaning of the sheet option. And another option is also very important. It's called first row. It tells Stata that the first row contains variable names. It's not data. Data rows starts from the second row. So that's the meaning of first row. Each time when you have variable name in the first row of your worksheet, remember to include first row option in this command. So let's highlight the row 322 and click on the Do button. And then if we switch back to Stata, you will see that we have the data imported from Excel. Totally 13 variables. And if you click on the Data Browser button on top of your Stata output window, you can go through this data. So you see that now you have those 13 variable names, and the missing value will be converted from a blank cell into the Stata default missing value, a small dot, the full stop, small dot. This kind of import is very convenient, but it has a drawback. If you look at the variable label column, you see that those variable labels actually replicate the variable names. So it's very difficult for you to remember the meaning of each variable, maybe 3 or even week later. So this is a drawback. So let's go ahead and clear this import by run row 324. Clear the memory. Let's try another type of data, which is actually a comma-separated spreadsheet. It's called SCV file. In order to import SCV file, you need to use the same command called import, but this time you change Excel to delimited, followed by the file name of the CSV. So let's highlight row 328 and click on the Do button. You see that this time we have totally 13 variables imported, but comparing to the Excel format, we have no variable label at all. So the entire variable label column is blank. So if we switch to the data browser, you will see that we have totally 13 variables, and the missing value is not a full stop, a small dot. Instead, it's .I. So this one can be later defined as missing value if you want. So comparing to the Excel format, CSV looks like it's not a better choice. So how about we go ahead and clear the memory and try another file type. Highlight row 330 and click on the Do button to clear the memory. And let's talk about how to import a TXT file with dictionary. One more time, the dictionary file determines the variable name as well as variable labels at the same time. So in order to import TXT file with a dictionary, you need to use another command called infile, followed by using, and then the name of the dictionary, comma, using this txt file as an option. Okay, this syntax tells Stata try to read the data of GSS 2014 partial.txt following the data structure defined in this dictionary file. That's the meaning of this command. So how about we go ahead and highlight these two rows, 334 and 335, and click on Do button. This time, once again, we have 13 variables imported, and comparing to previous two methods, now we have variable labels defined, which is very nice. And if we click on the data browser button, we see that we have each variable imported, and for each variable we have a clearly defined variable label, and the missing value will be represented by .i. So now we know how to import these three types of commonly seen data format into Stata. There could be other formats of data, such as the data from my SPSS, which is actually commonly used. But the good news is that you don't have to import SPSS data into Stata. Actually, in SPSS, you can save the SPSS data into the Stata format, so that the variable label as well as value labels for discrete variables will be saved in a proper format for Stata to read directly. That's everything that I want to cover today. Before we go, let's clear the memory, save the log file, and then exit from Stata. See you next time.